Hello, collectors. Welcome back to Late to the Party, where a bunch of geezers talk about a bunch of old movies. Are they relevant? Are they not? Let's get into it. Today's movie is, well, you know what? Before we get into it, let's welcome our hosts. Vic Fuzz, Comic Lizard, and the Jaded Geek, and me, Collection Connection, Nate the Great. So let's get into it. Feast 2005. Let's see, directed by John Gulager. It has got a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, whatever that is. Trapped in a remote tavern, a group of strangers, Navi Rawat, Krista Allen, Balthazar Getty, Henry Rollins, Jason Mewes, must band together for survival. Outside the bar, a horde of ravenous flesh-eating monsters are trying to break in and dine on the frightened humans inside. Let's see. There's interesting stories behind this, and I'm sure Fuzzy can let us into it. So,
oh yeah,
this
awesome
movie was
TV.
It was
TV
a project.
Show.
It was a project. So go for it, Fuzzy. Yeah. Let us behind the curtain.
This was, I think, Project Greenlight Part 3. It's Season 3 or season... Was it 3?
I fell down the rabbit hole too.
I watched it live. Like I was the guy tuning in every week. Like I submitted 2 scripts during season 1 and 2.
Oh no!
And there he goes.
Well, that's a good pose for him to be stuck on. It's a very fuzzy pose.
Am I back?
Yep, you're back. You submitted a script between season 1 and 2.
So season 1 and 2 I submitted, but I was like, I didn't win. So I was like, but I would watch it, I would watch it. And season 2's movie was amazing. It was like really fun, and Shia LaBeouf's in it. It's called Battle of Shaker Heights. And it was like reality TV in the beginning. So it was like American Idol. Like everyone submitted scripts and they would pick a director and then a writer. But I think this season they had already had the script. So they were only looking for a director. So that's why I didn't submit anything. But it was like my dream wanted a team to work with, because it was Wes Craven, Matt Damon, and Ben Affleck. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so when I saw this show being made, like the shit that he did, I was like, why do people get this way? Like, oh my God, like, you've never seen it. The director is a fucking douche. Like, you're just like, you want to beat his ass. Like, you're like, why the fuck are you complaining, dude? Like, they gave you millions of dollars to fucking make a movie. Shut the fuck up and turn the camera on and do what do what you got to do. And like, but when I saw the making of the movie, I thought this movie, the final product, was going to be way worse than it was. Like, I liked the movie more than I thought I would, because of just how much I didn't like the director, and like how the bartender, the old man, that's his dad, and he fought hard.
Yeah.
He was like, they were like, Damon and everyone was like, dude, like put an actor in there, like, and you can see how they did. They had Jason Mewes in there, you know what I mean? They had actors, and so they were going for that feel, but then they had like all the random people that you didn't know, they were his friends. So it was like
so he was still doing his nepotism routine with it.
Yeah, and so I mean, again, I love you guys. Okay, I do. I love you. But if fucking Marvel was like, hey, we want you to direct the new Captain America movie, I'd be like, look, guys, I could put you in the background somewhere. Maybe you walk up and say, hey, Cap, what's up? I'm not going to give you the Captain America part. I'm not going to get you. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I love you.
I am the number one Captain America fan on the planet. That
There's
you would not even consider.
There's your line. You just. I heard an eagle fly by right there as soon as you did. I went, oh, like that and shit as you went by, dude.
Oh,
but
man,
I'm just,
you put me on that Marvel diet, bro. I'm all there,
Well, I'm like, but I mean, even stuff that I got paid to do, you know what I mean? That my friends like, can you give me a part? I was like, look, dude. I go, I only got so much pull, you know what I mean? Like, I could do this, and this, but I know you want this over here, and you have to talk to them. Like I don't pay the bill.
You
for
can
that
get us
one, you know what I mean?
appetizers, but we're not getting entrees from Fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll get you through that door, but the rest is up to you.
I'm not going to be the douche that Chris Evans is, so hook me up.
I'll be the hors d'oeuvres on the movie.
All right. What I liked about the movie, getting back into it, it gives you those intros of people, and it's like the intros of how you would think it should be, and then they flip it on its side. You know, oh, is the little kid eating? No, he's there. He's safe. Until, bam, he's not. Like, and it's just like, and it doesn't even, like, it's almost like somebody's reading your mind about, at least in the beginning, it was almost like somebody was reading your mind about when you're trying to go through and set up who's going to do what. And then McSteamy comes through. I'm the guy that's going to sieve your ass. Oh, he's the rah. He's gone. Oh, the kid. Or like, oh, it's the slutty waitress who's getting fucked by the owner, you know, for extra tips or whatever the hell, getting tipped for extra tips, and she's gonna die for sure. Then boom, she ends up twisting into the heroine. Like the virtuous girl takes off and leaves everybody. Like the whole everything, just all the stereotypes get reversed, and I really like that in the movie. And at the time in 2005 when that happened, I want to say that
it was unheard of.
Yeah, it was unheard of. So it was fresh and new in that sense. And I think if you're walking into it and you don't know about it, that part of it won't be as much of a surprise as it was occurring. So catching up to it, you're like, oh, I've seen that before, but it was pretty unprecedented for its time.
But you could tell that the director, like, again, like, I'm back to the director on this thing, like, there's shots in there that would have been like, if he just moved the camera to the right, dude, it'd have fucking lit it up. The ending sequence, right? When I know, you know, sunset's coming, they got to get the shot, right? And it's the shot where they're walking out into the sunset, getting into the car. When she's opening the door to get in, it's overblown by the sun. You know what I mean? You can't see her. You just see the front of the car, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that's a bad director right there. Like that's where me as a director I'd look at my cinematographer and go, this is what I need. But if it's that, get it over here. So we can just cut to this. We don't need a straight shot. You know what I mean? Like that was the stuff that bugged me in that movie, where I was like, oh my fucking, you wasted all that money, you son of a bitch, dude. Like, but dude, the monster fucking everyone. I forgot about that shit, dude. Like when the girl got sucked out and the little monster was
and then she's like
I spit out my soda, dude. I was laughing so hard. Like I forgot about
you
that.
You had a personal reenactment.
All of the stupid monsters are horny. I mean, even the adults were fucking. Like, that's the thing. I was like, oh, our kid died. Well, let's just make two more. It's no big deal. Let's just do it right here on the car right here. And you're like, what? And then the horny one that dies because he's screwing the deer head on the wall. That's like the like, and he's done. That's the other thing, is that when he's finished, he's like, ah. Like, he makes that sound. You're just like, okay, like, what just happened here? What is going on?
And I like when the dude that, like, again, I watched the show, so I thought the dude that got yacked on, that comedian guy, I thought he was going to be the best part. He was the part I hated the most. So I was like, fuck, dude, you suck, dude. Like, damn. Like, I was like, shut up. Go back to the cheesy heroin and shit. At least you, and then, dude, again, I told you about my buddy with the necklace. And what's the one thing that's on her neck when she gets eaten and she grabs? Little fucking heart-shaped necklace. I was fucking dying. I was like, stupid necklace. That's why I love this one. This one's fun for me, dude. I love it. It
kind of felt like they had like a interactive fan movie, and almost like a choose your own adventure book. And then the fans would say what you would do, and then they would just be like, "We're gonna go that way." Then they're just going all over the place. I did like when like my favorite scene, and we can do it right now. Fuck it, favorite scene, or if you didn't have one, whatever. But when Jason Mewes' face gets ripped off, and he's like, "Ah!"
What the hell?
Oh my god, it was so good. I was like, especially when I saw it, because I was thinking, all right, I was recognizing people. I'm like, okay, these are the people that the movie's going to be about, and they're just about all wiped out like in the first 2 minutes of the movie. So it was,
and they wasted the chance to do good jokes with Henry Rollins. You know what I mean? Because he's so, it's like so opposite of him. So I was just like, dude, I'd have been putting it on him more, like trying to play up that character a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like I love the idea of that. Like when they were like, yeah, he's like, the motivational speaker. This that was. I was dying laughing. Like, dude, that's awesome.
Coach. That's what they call him, Coach. None of them had real names except for the kid. The kid was the only one
And
that
Jason
had a name.
Hughes.
Oh, and Jason Hughes. It's like the hero.
He played
the
himself.
heroine, The single mother, yeah.
And he looked weird with the black hair. You're just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, ugh, you look weird. Was that a wig?
Yeah. This movie was dumb. Like, I don't know.
No, it was.
When you said like Tremors and stuff, and I was like, okay, like I could see the Tremors because they're like in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. It's the same thing with like was it the movie with From Dusk Till Dawn? Like there's always that somewhere in the southwest middle of nowhere shit happens. Like nobody knows why the shit happens, but the shit happens. Like you don't know where the monsters come from. Now I know that there's a second and third one apparently, so I don't know if they expand upon the mythology of the monsters, but you don't know where they come from. You don't know there's like zero explanation as to who and what these things are. Like even in at least in Tremors, they like kind of explain a little bit about and then you have like the aliens with like the acidic like puke on them, but like it turned like the maggots all of a sudden. Was that just something fun to like do? I'm like, ew, he's got like maggots all over. What's the deal? Like that's not what your body is rot and produce maggots.
When he lifted his eye socket and the maggots are eating his eye.
I have to say that's probably my favorite scene out of the whole movie because the girl's like, oh, it's great, like no, it's all right, and like so where she starts puking and he's just like, you really should be a nurse, you're really good at this. like that's probably my favorite scene. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's got it looks like a messed up version of also like Demon Knight, except for being in a hotel, they're like in a bar, but it's the same. I mean, if you look at it, it's the same thing. They have to barricade the walls. They have to protect. The things are coming in. There's, it's just, I don't know. Because they just took like the nuggets out of little things that they liked and like threw together. And you can tell, like, once I saw that this was that like green light production or whatever, that season 3 thing, I was like, oh, okay, that explains a whole lot about what's going on.
It's a big budget. It's a big budget student film, is what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, this makes more sense now as to why. Like, I'd never heard of it except for in that TV show. Like, yeah.
Well, I love the idea of the show. You know what I mean? Because I think it's a great idea, because you never know what's out there kind of thing. But then there's a point where, like, I mean, they do it with Marvel movies all the time. We talk about it on the other show all the time about how, producers step in and stuff. And then you see something like this and you're like, why did no one not step in on this one, dude? Like, leave those ones alone. Like, let's get one on. The same guy's over there. Put him here.
Where was Wes Craven?
All right, we haven't heard from the Jaded Geek too much. What do you got, Josh?
Well, if you're gonna twist my arm and ask me to pick a favorite scene, it's probably when they that broad that was gonna rob the place and got her leg hacked off. when they let her get dragged outside and then they blow her to smithereens to kill one of those creatures.
And she gets banged.
That's cold-blooded right there. They just like straight up.
And you want to know what's messed up? That's the director's girlfriend.
Oh, of course.
He's got issues there, apparently.
nobody in this movie is like actually a good person. They're all like awful people. So you don't really root for any of them, and when some survive, you're kind of sad. You know, I have to say, you know, the director may have won, but we all lost. It's
well spoken. Well spoken.
It was a rough watch. I mean, it was entertaining at times, but it was chaos. Didn't make a lot of sense. People are doing random weird shit. Definitely. I mean, if I was in the bar and I was there and watching these people like melt down, I'm just sneaking out the back door. Man.
I'm like the old lady. Like I'm gonna go into the locker and I won't come out. Like fuck it, I don't care.
It'll be like the hot waitress and like steal the truck and just drive off.
Well, this was like you said, this was like Demon Night, but I think the director like loved Evil Dead, so he wanted to like do like, you know what I mean? Because exactly, like it was just spewing, like, and you're like, okay, this is meant to be funny, right? Like that's the way I looked at it. Was like, okay, they're gonna make one of these silly, like, you know, borderline horror comedy kind of things, but it had more horror than it did comedy. You know what I mean? Like the stuff you laughed at, you weren't supposed to. I think.
That's the thing is that we see elements of like these other movies in here, but they were all done better in those other movies.
Yeah,
Demon Night was better. Tremors was better.
Their turn.
I hope that's not us.
Yep, that was you. You're good. I can hear you.
Okay, we're back. So yeah,
I heard Tremors.
Oh, you heard Tremors?
Everything was better.
Everything that this derived from was better. So why are we watching this thing?
But like even remember that scene where she's like the only thing I thought was dope. Like I was like, oh, that's smart. Is when they had the monster there and they had the shotgun and she's bashing it in over and over and the teeth are coming out and she just shoves her arm in there and I was like, oh fuck yeah, that's the dopest shit. But again, it's the actress, she didn't pull it off right, you know what I mean? And then there's the shot that again, he had it like this, right? So she's in the dark and then the monster's right here and you could tell it was trying to get that alien shot with Sigourney Weaver and the thing like right at her, you know, the xenomorph in her face. He just didn't have the camera and no one was like, okay, let's do it right, you know, let's get that shot. They were just trying to get that gorilla effect, you know, like the fucking moving and shit like that. And I'm like, I screwed it up, dude. Like if that would have been a killer fucking shot, like, you know what I mean? But no, just ruined it.
All right, well, let's get into the buckets. Buckets, we'll start with the Fuzzster.
Okay, so Fuzzy's going to grade it on a fuzzy scale. So as a movie... As a movie, okay, I'm giving it a 5. It is a bad movie. It is like this. But what does Fuzzy always say? Does it hit those check marks? Does it get those things we need? We saw Jason Mewes get his face ripped off. Okay, our hero dies in 2.5 seconds of the movie. Okay. A dude gets his foot shot off because the guy gets scared. The gun goes off. The guy above him gets his foot shot.
Right.
When do you see that in the movie? You know what I mean? Like there was little bits of these things where I was going like, okay, I like that. You know, I like that. Again, top of the line of the greatest parts, the fucking just banging the shit out of everything, dude. So because of that, I'm moving it up to a 7. I'm giving it 2 full extra points. I'm moving it to a 7. So that's Fuzzy's bucket.
Fuzzy's got it at a 7. I'm gonna leave it at a. If I was gonna do it on the Fuzzy scale, I would have it at a 5, but then I would have it at a 6 for shaking it up a bit. I'll leave it at a 6 for shaking it up a bit. I like that they didn't carry the kid through the whole movie because he was a kid. That the virtues of the blonde chick, she ended up still being a scumbag who left everybody at the end, and not the blonde vixen hero. So they did a good job of flipping stereotypical tropes from like the 80s and 90s on their back on that one. The execution was a little bit lacking, but you know, it's a fun movie. I remember when I watched it with my wife, we didn't know about the green light or anything. We were expecting it to be serious, and we had a good time. And we didn't get scared. We got like grossed out by some parts, and we laughed a whole lot more. And I don't know if they're intending for it to be a comedy, but we sure did laugh a lot when we first saw this one. And I was multitasking while watching it this time, so I couldn't dig in too hard. But I have a good time with it. probably the most fun I have with such a shitty score.
I swear there was like a couple riffs of fucking aliens in there too. There was like a part like they just lowered it like a little bit and gave you like a little taste of it, like where the tin 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 tin. Like I heard it, I was like, I'm all, no, that's not the beat. That's not the beat.
All right. I'm just sticking it to the list scale, which is a 5. It's just a regular. I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie again. I think the only time I will watch this movie again is if my dad calls up and says, "You gotta watch this movie with me. It's called Feast," and I'll just be like, "Okay, Dad. I love you. I'll watch it with you," because he knows I'm the only kid of his that will actually watch it with him. And
your brother it's not murder porny enough for your brother?
yeah,
You would think.
John just never, or Dad never. If it's like, the shittier the better for my dad, and I'm the kid that he always calls to watch those movies for. Like, so John, it's more like war movies and like action movies and the Jack Reacher, that kind of stuff. That's John and Dad. They bro it out, If it comes to like stupid cheeseball science fiction horror stuff, Dad calls me because he knows that I'll sit and watch it with him, and we'll Mystery Science Theater 3000 that crap. But yeah, it's a 5. I mean, it's what it's supposed to be, which was a student TV show, reality show movie. So
That's fair.
All right, let us know.
I think you guys are all far too generous. This thing at best,
I thought we were being mean.
No, at best it's like a 4. There are half a dozen movies that it pulls from, and they're all better films. If I want to watch this movie, I'll just watch all of those in succession and let it blend in my mind. It'll come out better. So 4.
All right. Well, thanks for watching Late to the Party. This is probably one of our weaker ones that we've had in a long time, but it was a fun one, at least in some.
So no
aspects.
sequel for you guys? You guys don't want to watch Feast 2 with the ultimate death scene where he throws the baby in
They're
the
bad.
air?
They're bad.
The
Yeah.
only way
They're
I
bad.
watch the second and third one is if they expound more on where the creatures come from. But if they
I've
don't,
never seen the third one. I've only seen
They
the second
don't?
one. I ended at the second
fuck
one.
it. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I want to know, because even Jeepers Creepers, they explain it. You know what I mean? So, hard pass.
Okay, there you have it. I'm stuck. You guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We can
Okay,
hear
cool.
you. Yeah.
All right, cool. I was just doing some production work behind the scenes. I'm gonna have to go back and edit it. There you have it. A whopping probably 5 average for everybody. So not our greatest, but we'll be coming back with another great movie next week, and we'll chat amongst ourselves and see what we're going to put together for that one. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. All right.